Hello, Oracles. Well, Tesla pulls back almost 3% today, creating a very nice buying opportunity. As we saw yesterday, the gap filled at 235. Now we're looking at gaps down to 221. Will we fill this gap? There's a good chance we will. We'll get into that in a minute. Why did we pull back today? The entire market pulled back. We saw some weak economic data coming out of China that caused the entire market to pull down. So this is nothing Tesla specific, but because Tesla has obviously Shanghai's factory over there, this could lead to a little sense of concern. But for me, I consider it a buying opportunity. We've seen issues like this in the past. These will pass us by. We will end up going back up. When that will be, we do not know. But we'll get into some more of the details in just a minute. All right, so looking at the charts, as we said, down 2.84% on the day, closing at 232.96, down another 0.5% after hours, right now at 231.85. Again, this downward trend just continues going. Now, looking at the RSI at 34.77, we are getting much closer to that oversold range. Again, we've been discussing hitting oversold and getting down to that 221 gap are right about at the same level. So we might end up seeing both of those hit. Now, I do not know if we are going to continue down below that and we're going to go down to 200. 200 is a very strong level of support. We'll have to pay attention to that. Now, I did have some questions earlier as far as what other gaps do we have that go below 221. There is this gap here right around that 193 level. I don't know why it doesn't show on here, but there's this little gap at 193. And then below that, there's this gap at 162.95. So again, just like I did in the past, I just like to point these out so you guys have education on the charts as far as the gaps go. That's all I'm pointing this out for. Whether we hit them or not, well, that's going to be up to the market. And now for those of you who are also in TSLY, that again is following that same downward trend that we are on. Did not fall as far as TSLA did, so it is starting to outperform a little bit. So again, this is something Gort and I have been paying attention to is which one trends which way. Obviously, you're going to get dividends paying out from TSLY to offset some of this, but is it really going to be worth it in a long run? Again, the way I'm playing it in my strategy, it will be. However, everyone is different. I think anything that we have here is a good buying opportunity. And I think as this turns around, we will go back up. So I am still dollar cost averaging here. I did add 2 more shares to TSLY today, and I will be adding 2 more again on Friday. Now, I also got the dividend payout yesterday, so that also added a few shares as well. So this is just going to keep on piling up. Obviously, there's a major variable when it comes to what the actual payout for the dividend is going to be. Again, we will see in a few weeks what that next payout is. And now looking at the gaps that we have here for TSLY, there's one that goes down to 1374, and then one below that goes down to 1259. And the RSI here is at 36. So again, this could push to the oversold range as well. We just have to pay attention. It most likely will just track with TSLA also. All right, so let's get into why the market was pulling back today. Kathy Wood posted out on X, China is exporting deflation in a more profound way than I believe many economists and strategists appreciate. All else equal, the 15% depreciation in the yuan relative to the dollar in the last year should have increased its PPI inflation rate by 15%. Instead, it has dropped 4%. So essentially what that means is China's deflation is actually around 20% when it should be basically flat. So that deflationary pressure is strong coming in. Seeing as China is the major export hub for pretty much most of the world for many, many goods, this is a major problem. So we're seeing that happening. The discussions are because of the fact that the US raised rates as quickly as they did, it's affecting deflation across the world because we are the leading economy. Now, because of that, looks like China is getting hit first because we import so much from China. So because of these relations going on a global basis, this is one of those points of data that come in that kind of gives the market a little pause to say, this is one of those domino things that, hey, this could cause a bigger domino effect, causing this mass pullback in the entire market globally. We could see this financial collapse happening. And this is one of those little signals. So the market is a little skittish because of this. That caused that big pullback. We've been seeing the pullback going on. And as we have discussed previously, August being a typical low volume month is going to feel these pressures even more. Now, does beg the question to say, hey, we already knew a lot of this information before, a lot of it was out there, it's now just becoming more prevalent. Is this really kind of market manipulators coming out, giving us this information to scare the market, knowing that volume is typically lower now, and they can really force down the prices of things even faster and exaggerate that more? Who knows why it's happening? All I know is that it is happening. So now in some Tesla specific news, Technosmith posts out, Fisker has finally decided to adopt Tesla's NACS. So another company coming out adopting the North American charging standard. Now, Fisker obviously is not big, but they're a startup company with just EVs, and it makes sense for them to come on board. I'm actually surprised it took them this long to come on board. So just yet another company coming on board. Again, this is one of those things that kind of gives me that inclination that these companies are starting to do it with this. As soon as Tesla solves FSD, they've already got that comfort of, hey, Tesla, we're going to adopt what you've got. This is going to work out well for my company. Hey, Tesla, you've got a charging standard. We're going to adopt it. Hey, Tesla, you've got FSD. We want to adopt that as well. So I kind of see this as everything moving in that direction. And this is just those first little signs that we're seeing of other companies out there are going to be adopting what Tesla has, and we're going to end up seeing licensing of FSD from these companies. And in some pretty big news, Sawyer Merritt posts out, breaking, Tesla has launched an all-new standard range Model S and Model X in North America. Both are $10,000 less than the long-range Model S and X. The S standard range is now $78,490, a range of 320 miles, goes 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds. Meanwhile, the Model X standard range is $88,490, 269-mile range, and 4.4 seconds 0 to 60. Now, this is great to see and kind of makes me wonder if they're going to have a Cybertruck that has a standard range as well that's going to be a lower price. We know right now they're looking at dual, tri, and quad motors, maybe a plaid version. Are they going to be doing a standard range as well when it comes to the Cybertruck? Who knows? Hopefully we should be finding out about this soon. Many of us are out here still wondering, when are we going to be getting the news about the delivery event that's going on? When are we going to get more specs? When are we going to get pricing? This is all coming in due time. I have a feeling we're going to be getting a release event from this sometime in late September, early October, and we'll probably hear about it relatively soon. But again, these little delays here are kind of causing no positive excitement coming for Tesla, which just fuels the fire for the Tesla pullback happening right now. And then, of course, we've got the Model 3 Highland rumors that are still floating around out there. We know a refresh is coming, and Herbert Ong coming out. My theory, the new Model 3 Highland will be both a sportier version and lower priced. This will allow separation from the Model Y into its own sedan segmentation, and at the same time separation from the upcoming compact car. Model 3 sales will rocket to top 5 best-selling vehicle globally. Thoughts? And Peggy had his own post in regards to the Model 3 Highland. Model 3 Highland will be more affordable for customers to make that decision to buy a Tesla. But a Model Y refresh will just destroy sales. I expect a Model Y Highland sometime in the next 1 to 2 years. So I agree with both Herbert and Peggy on this matter. The Highland is going to be coming out. It's going to be that refresh. Again, whatever the name they're going to call it, I think it's just going to be like the Model S and the Model X. They're going to give it a nice refresh. It's been 5 years since the vehicle came out back in 2018, so it's due for a bit of an update. They're going to be getting that update. Have no doubt that they've improved efficiencies when it comes to production, improved the costs when it comes to what different parts they're not going to need, upgraded other things. So it's most likely going to be reducing the cost of production for this vehicle. They will then also be able to come down on the price. And as Herbert said, that pricing will separate it a little bit more from the Model Y. So we might see maybe a $5,000 price reduction when it comes to the Model 3. And so I think that separation is going to be good. And then again, when the compact car comes out, we still have probably a year and a half to 2 years before that really starts hitting the ground. But if that vehicle is going to be priced under $25,000 and we see the Model 3 under $35,000 and the Model Y sitting around that $40,000 mark, that's going to be a nice separation between them all and really kind of give them their own room to breathe when it comes to what vehicle is right for the consumer. And that will reduce the cannibalization of the different models by the others. So I think this is going to be a great move for Tesla. And again, I think we're going to see that in the next couple of months. And as Peggy said, I do think we're going to end up seeing a Model Y refresh of some sort as well. That might come out right before the compact car comes out. So I think at that point, they do the refresh on that. They're now going to have, the S and the X will have their refresh done. Cybertruck is out. Model 3 and Model Y will be refreshed as well. And then they come out with their new vehicle of the compact car. That I think will be their lineup moving into 2025. All of this new updated vehicle stuff, they're all going to have at least hardware 4 in them. Who knows if they're going to have hardware 5 by the time the compact car comes out, but we're going to have all of that, potentially FSD solved. This goes right back to my theories of 2025 is going to be that huge year for Tesla. And I think that's really where we see almost like the next solid foundation start, because the compact car will just be coming out. The Cybertruck will just be starting to hit ramp. 2025, we're really going to see these gears start churning and really take Tesla to the next level. So overall, yes, the stock did pull down today. I still think it's an awesome buying opportunity. I just discussed a lot of the reasons why. You look out 2, 3, 4 years, these prices right now, do not let them concern you. Not financial advice, but the lower it comes, the happier I am, because that means I can buy more for less, because I truly can see that potential that Tesla has when it comes to the next few years and far beyond that as well. You guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what you think about all of that. Have you been picking up any more shares as well on this dip? Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support. Have a great one.